up, YouTube? It's RS Mario bringing you another. This is episode 2 in my new Zelda Theories series. Alright, so yeah, I did say new series because I guess technically you can call this season 2. Because the way I really do this series is. Actually, before I go into that, hello, what's up to all the new subscribers out there? Because I did get a few new subscribers. What's up to you guys? Always good to have you. Welcome to the channel. Tell your friends, tell your family members, spread the word. Welcome to the channel, you guys. But back to the theory. The way I do these theory videos is I find a place in the timeline and I basically plant one theory and then I kind of build upon that theory with more videos and more videos and more theories and stuff like that. If you look at the last season, I guess, of several videos I did, it was basically based off of one theory, and that was that the game was taking place in the 4th era, right before Minish Cap. Now I'm building a new theory, a new chain of theories, I guess you can call it. The new era I've picked is a little different. It took me a little while because there's a lot of eras where this game could take place. A lot of them have already been talked about by different YouTubers. I really didn't want to, go, visit already done territory. So I picked a brand new era, for the new series, and that's the era without a hero. Now, if this were true, this would make this almost a direct sequel of Majora's Mask, which would actually kind of work. I mean, because you really think about it, Skyward Sword was a prequel to Ocarina of Time, and now if they weren't going with the original route, which I thought they would go in the Force era, which would make it like kind of bridge the gap between Skyward Sword and Ocarina of Time, kind of linking them all into the story. The other way they could do it is there's another gap as far as games go between Majora's Mask and Wind Waker. And also the adult timeline has not been touched since Spirit Tracks back on the DS. So that's been a long time without a game in the adult timeline. So I think it's about time that they went back there. And there's only 2 places in the adult timeline this game can take place. Either it could take place in the era without a hero, or it could take place during the era of Hyrule's Rebirth. I actually kind of went back and forth on this one, because actually, if you really think about it, the early era of Hyrule's Rebirth would work, seeing as though this is this is very underdeveloped place in the game. In the trailer, Hyrule is very underdeveloped. You really don't see many cities. You see scattered cottages and things. The only problem with this is the Spirit Tracks. I mean, you can't have this underdeveloped, country and have a bunch of train tracks everywhere. I mean, that's train tracks are like one of the big things you notice in developed countries. Not, underdeveloped countries don't have trains. They have old school dirt roads. So that's why I was thinking maybe not there. That was too much of a stretch. But I could see right at the beginning of the era without a hero, because that would explain why, some things happen. Now, I know a lot of people saying, well, in this era, since basically this era sets up, Wind Waker, that wouldn't work, because because the continent would be flooded and Ganondorf would be there, and they already said that there was no Ganondorf in the next Zelda game. But this takes place before Ganondorf breaks out. See, there is a period of time between when the Hero of Time leaves and Ganondorf breaks out and the goddesses flood Hyrule. There's a period of time there. Now, technically, during that time, Majora's Mask is probably happening, or either it just happened. there's two ways you can really explain this. I'm gonna go into more detail in the next video about exactly how I'm gonna explain that, because it heavily involves theories around Link. This video is really theories around the new place in the timeline. But that time during / after Majora's Mask, would be a perfect time to have a game take place, because there is no specific hero at that time. There is no specific villain at that point, because Ganondorf's not there, Link's not there, the Master Sword is sealed within the Temple of Time, and of course the Triforce is already back at its respective owners. And so that would basically take all three of those elements out of the game, and that would be a great way for Nintendo to change up the formula, because the heart of, well, the central part of the Zelda formula is, you have to, get the Triforce, or use your part of the Triforce to get the Master Sword to kill Ganondorf to save Zelda. That's really the central formula of the game. If they wanted to do that, they could definitely do it this way, because that way all of those pieces are out of play. Ganondorf is sealed away. The Triforce is back, in the hands of its respective owners, and the Master Sword is in the Temple of Time. That way they will have a whole lot of room to play around if this was the case. And I know a lot of people saying, well, you can't have a Zelda game without the Triforce. Well, actually, you are wrong. That is absolutely wrong. There are many games, specifically in the adult timeline, that don't involve the Triforce. Technically, let's see, Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass, they don't have the Triforce. Actually, people don't even know what the Triforce is. They call it the Triumph Force because it hasn't been seen for so long. Because after Wind Waker, the Triforce can never be completed again, because Ganondorf, because after the Triforce is used to flood Hyrule, all of his pieces go back to his owners. And after Wind Waker, Ganondorf is dead at the bottom of the ocean. He's petrified at the bottom of the sea, and he is the holder of the Triforce of Power, so the Triforce basically can never be reformed again. The only two pieces left are the Triforce of Wisdom, which is owned by Zelda, and the Triforce of Courage, which is owned by Link. So, after Wind Waker, there is no more Triforce in the adult timeline. And there are other games that don't involve the Triforce either, like Majora's Mask doesn't have the Triforce. Minish Cap doesn't have the Triforce. Four Swords Adventure. There are a lot of games in the Zelda, timeline, in the Zelda franchise, that don't have the Triforce. And there's a lot of games that don't have the Triforce or the Master Sword, for that matter. Majora's Mask being one of them. Because technically, in Majora's Mask, there is the Master Sword is sealed. In Minish Cap, there is no Master Sword. You have the Force Sword, because this takes place after the Master Sword is broken. So, yeah, there have been Zelda games that have changed the formula in those ways, and this one could change it completely, where there's no Ganondorf, no Triforce, and no Master Sword. Would it be a risk? Yeah, but I believe it would be a risk worth taking. It would give them a whole lot of room to play with a whole lot of new things in Zelda. Also, with all of the another reason why this spot in the timeline will be perfect, with all of the buzz around Majora's Mask going on, will it get a remake? Will it get a remake on 3DS? And next year, basically, Nintendo didn't say that, but the rumor is next year we will be getting a remake for every month of 2015. Majora's Mask is bound to be in there somewhere, and it would only be perfect for them to remake Majora's Mask on 3DS, and then this game would follow up Majora's Mask as a follow-up, possibly taking place at the same time, since technically Majora's Mask takes place in Termina, and this game will take place in Hyrule. And it would actually be perfect, because it would explain what happens in Hyrule while Link is gone, and before, you know, it's flooded by the goddesses. So basically the new era I'm gonna be building on is right here in the beginning of the era without a hero. And my next video is gonna be on Link. Basically, it's gonna be about Link and what is this Link's motivation. So, alright, that's about it for this video. I mean, I'm actually beginning to get a little bit better at doing these as far as getting information and everything. I know this video is a little bit light, but this is the beginning. You know, I'm building on this rumor. So, alright, so see you guys next time. Like, comment, subscribe, and keep it real.